Hi everyone, so we're looking at Engage New York, Module 3, Lesson 3 review. So the basic gist or the main idea of this lesson was to show us that we can use a letter to represent anything really, a factor or a product or a divisor, dividend, or quotient in multiplication and division equations. So basically what that means is I can say 4 times W equals 20, and then I'm going to be solving for W. W equals 5. Or you can say 4 times 5 equals W. W equals 20. Or W times 5 equals 20. W equals 4. Okay, and then you can also do that for a division equation. Okay, but it doesn't always have to look like super proper. Okay, so normally you'd have total divided by W equals 6. Okay, but you could also say let's make the W, and the W, solving for W would be 4, right? But you could also say, I'm trying to think of how to do this. 6, there we go, equals 24 divided by W. So if this makes your brain go, flip it around, make it so that it doesn't, fix it. Okay, you don't have to keep it like that. Change it so that it's easier for you to understand. You could say 24 divided by 4 equals W. W here would be 6. You could say W divided by 4 equals 6. W would equal 24. But again, you could have something that says W equals 24 divided by 4. And then you have that quotient would be the first thing in that equation. So no matter how it looks, you're still saying the same thing. So if this is hard for you, flip it. 24 divided by 4 equals W. And maybe that will help your brain. Okay, so that was the basic gist or main idea. Let's solve a problem now. Let's say Mr. B waters his roses for 15 minutes. Each rose takes 3 minutes to water because for some reason they're really, really dry roses. Okay, so we want to know how many roses can he water in 15 minutes. Okay. So let's look at this problem. First, we're going to do number of groups. We're going to do size of groups. We're going to do total, and then we're going to decide if we're going to multiply or divide. So that's where we're going to start. Okay. Do we know the total amount of minutes? Yes, we do. It's 15 minutes. Do we know the number of groups? We don't, because we want to know how many roses can he water. But we know that each rose takes 3 minutes, so that each is really important. So the size of the group is 3 minutes, but we don't know the number of groups. So let's put an R for rows, the number of groups. And are we multiplying or are we dividing? We're dividing because we know the total, we know a part, we want to know the other part. Okay. So our equation is going to be 15 divided by 3, use what you know, equals R. Could you take that equation and make it into a multiplication equation? So you know that 15 is going to be your total, but this time it's your product, okay? And then you have to take these two numbers and turn them into factors. 3 times R equals 15. Or use the commutative property, R times 3 equals 15. You could also say 15 divided by r equals 3. All of these are going to help you find what r is. R equals what? What's the value of r? We've got to solve for r. Last but not least, before we solve this equation, I mean, you know what the answer is, right? Of course you do. But you can't put it in because you got to use what they tell you, not what you know right now, okay? So 15 divided by 3, we're looking to solve for r. We got to draw it, so let's model it, okay? So, do we know the total? Yes, 15 minutes. Do we know the size of the group? Yes, 3. But we don't know the number of groups, so that's where we're going to put our R. Okay, that's just how they tell us to make this tape diagram for when we don't know the number of groups in a division equation. Okay, so then you can count up. Let's try that until we reach 15, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. How many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our R is going to equal 5. So solving for R, that equals 5. But then you got to label it, right? What does R even mean? How many roses can he water in 15 minutes? 5 roses. And in order to get the best 100% points possible, you got to write it in a complete sentence. Because look at all the stuff I have here. How am I supposed to know what your answer is if you don't show me? Show your reader what the answer is. Point them to the answer. He can water 5 roses. End it with a period. There you go. Maybe even circle this so I know what your answer is. Okay, so that is the review for lesson 3 in module 3. Good luck.